literally just pressed go and you having a drink now.
I know, sorry. Is that what we're doing?
That is how we're starting.
Oh, okay, I wasn't ready.
So I'll take it, don't worry about it. So, welcome.
And I nearly spilled it all down me. Go.
No.
Try again.
Hi guys, so welcome to episode... You done? Anything else?
No, I think I'm good.
Cool. And I was talking to my girlfriend at the time's friend.
Oh, okay.
Who was very attractive. The other way, you put me in the middle of London and I'm thinking about how much I hate being in the middle of London.
I'm going to get out of this place.
So welcome to episode 2 of the Creative Corner. And I'm going to get this out of the way at the start. Everyone does this at the end, or a lot of them do. Please like, please share, please subscribe. It does help us. Leave comments. Tell your friends, tell your mum, tell everyone. Just help us get this out there. Obviously, the more interaction, the more comments, the more reviews we get, hopefully positive, means we can get like even more people on. We've got some guests lined up coming on. So the more you share, the more you comment, the more you like, the better quality people we can get on, the more interesting people we can get on. And obviously that means more entertaining content for you guys. So
absolutely, appreciate it. And we're filming these a little bit ahead of schedule. So you've actually probably seen the first podcast, and we haven't actually, at this point of recording the second one, published that live. Now, we have made shorts, we have edited the thing, and we have seen it, and my mum has watched it. So we have a little bit of feedback, but if you have watched that one, thank you so much. Thanks for all your comment and support and love on that one. And if you haven't, and this is the first one you're listening to, welcome to the Creative Corner. Listen to this one, and once you have, go check out the first one because it's a little bit of a longer one, a little bit more of an introduction to who I am and who Sam is. So yeah, we'd really appreciate that as well. But we're going to get into episode number 2, and I'm excited.
I am, yes. We've already got a few topics, things to go over. I will say that you've been very generous to say we've edited. Callum's edited it because
it's just what I do, you know.
That is his life. Like I would love to, but I would basically do exactly what I spoke about in episode 1. I'd download that software, I'd just chuck all the stuff in, and I'd be like,
I'm no good at it.
Why ain't it good straight away? This is bullshit.
It's out the prom.
And then I'd leave it. Whereas
you know there's a lot of creator tools that you can use to edit these videos.
There is,
Sam.
yeah.
We will talk about them.
I would imagine you probably sat and knew how to use that software before you even put a video into it.
Before I even downloaded DaVinci Resolve, right? No, I didn't even have a laptop that could put DaVinci Resolve on there.
Makes sense.
And I was like editing on some mad software because CapCut wasn't around then. Like TikTok didn't have a good editing software. Instagram was terrible for editing. I don't think you could edit on TikTok. So I learned the ins and outs of DaVinci Resolve before I was able to even get it. So when I downloaded it, I was like...
I remember, so full disclosure, so this, at the time of recording, this Saturday just gone, Callum came to the gym that I'm based at and did a photo shoot for some of my clients.
It was amazing.
Yeah, it was really, really good morning. And at the time, so he was like showing me some of the edits, or not the edits, but the original photos that he'd taken. And then he started showing me like little sneak peeks of the podcast or last week's podcast that he'd edited. Yeah. And you showed me all the options and you showed me all the fact that you've had to like re-keyframe your face and everything like that. Yeah. And I was like, I've not got...
Crazy.
Like literally, like that is the sort of thing I would have just had to chuck it all in and just find out as I go. Yeah, I knew that when you
started tracking each frame,
when you realised what you needed to do, you knew how to do it.
Yeah,
I would have been, I need to do this. Cool, let's find out how. I was like,
let's go on
YouTube. Like the respect I had, I was like, yeah, sad. He knew how to fix that straight away. I'd have been like, cool, there's a problem. What next?
I know, yeah, no, it was pretty cool, and I enjoyed the edit, so it was pretty fun. Okay, we lined up for episode 2, quite an interesting one, and we're going to go through a few things, and Sam has actually sent me some stuff, and I've got some stuff as well. And should we just kick it straight off?
Yeah. So these are topics that I found. I've not really gone into them in too much depth. I have got like some top level thoughts. There's one that I've already said to you I've got some like a lot of thoughts on. Actually kept me awake at night thinking about it last night.
Did it?
So one of the rabbit hole ones. The more I thought about it, I was more sort of extrapolating points, and then just started like arguing with myself about things.
Yeah, I couldn't sleep at night. I think I was doing the same. I was like, so I've got a podcast tomorrow.
So I'll be interested on your take of things. But yes, we've got a few things.
So I have not read I'm reading these out now, so they're going into my head as I'm reading them. So it's going to be very raw and real conversation here, which is what we want. It's what we like. So, innovative. That was one to swallow, isn't it? Approaches in photography. So I guess we've both done photography here.
I was thinking I think that's the main creative, quote unquote, sort of art form, if you want to class it that, that where we actually cross over on.
Yeah.
I think that's the main one that we've got the most experience on.
Absolutely,
Whereas
yeah.
everything else is in, like, obviously you like video surpasses mine, and I do other bits. But like when it comes to actual photography, even though we've got completely different eyes, we
should still cross over.
Yeah, like when we
through a lens.
it was a bit like for a bit peek behind the scenes. So when I remember we were in the old gym we were working in,
Yeah.
and it was like the Step Brothers moment.
Oh yeah,
It's
when I
like,
pull out the camera.
You do photography. I do photography.
Yeah,
You're best friends. And it was like half an hour just geeking out.
Let's
Like,
get the
look at
phone
this.
out. Look at mine.
Look at this. Look at this. Look at this.
I think I'd just come back from Portugal.
You had. Yeah, you
I
just
brought
back.
some prints in, didn't I?
That's it. You got
Yeah.
your prints now. Then I was showing you my stuff. And you're like, oh yeah, what about this? What about this sort of thing? So, but then if you looked at both of our portfolios, completely different, which is cool though, because it just shows you. And we'll get into a little bit more detail how when you've got that like thing that you gravitate towards, not even potentially consciously.
Yeah.
Like you miss other things. Like I get
100%.
I get a bit stressy because because I don't do street photography, and that's something that you're
Yeah,
really good at.
yeah.
I'll be somewhere and I think, oh, there's a really cool photo here somewhere.
Somewhere.
And
Looking for it
I
forever.
I can't get it, but somebody could.
Actually, you say that. I'm the same. So I like I go on a lot of walks. I'm in the Peak District a lot. I'm outdoors and walking past cows all the time. I'd never ever think to take a photo of the mountains, of the landscape, of the
Yes,
greenery,
that's a
of the
bit of me,
shadows,
that.
of the contrast, of everything that's going off through my eyes when I'm at the top of Mantor looking down on the Peak District. Never even think about taking a photo of that. I'm sat enjoying that moment. But put me in the centre of London, wow,
Element, yeah.
I am getting the clips, like I'm capturing every little bit of moment, someone getting the morning coffee, bus rides, the architecture, people's expressions in the morning, whether they're rushing, whether they're calm, like I am in there and I am focused for photography.
See,
like my eyes turn into a lens like that.
See,
in the
I'm
street.
completely the other way. You put me in the middle of London and I'm thinking about how much I hate being in the middle
I'm
of
gonna
London.
get out of this place.
But then like you put me in the countryside in front of a waterfall, in front of a sunset, I'll find a composition. And I remember once another photographer friend of mine, he was like, he just came up to me and went, you break all the rules. And I went, what do you mean? And he went, like, you're taught not to shoot into the sun. Like, that's just not what you do.
Shooting in it.
I shoot directly into, because I like the shadows,
flare,
I like the silhouettes, I like it all. I like that element to it. And it's like, so it's just, it's mad how like you can have the same hobby effectively, but completely different eyes.
Yeah, but you can still join together.
Oh,
on it.
100%,
So it's like
yeah.
the camera settings and slow shutter and all of these techniques that we use to take photos can be done in a street style.
Yeah.
And can be done for landscape and
Yeah.
other things, like shooting a waterfall and a long exposure, maybe using an ND and a black mist filter. Great for that. Whereas for me, like I'm shooting a passing bus, and I want people inside the bus to be focused, but the actual bus itself to be blurry. I'm using an ND, I'm using a slow shutter, and I'm panning to get that shot.
Yeah.
So there's still things that cross over.
Panning is such a skill.
Oh, I used to actually set a custom button on my camera just for panning, because if I needed it, like I dialed it into the T. It took so long to get it. Like,
Of course you did.
but I had to. Do you know when I was actually in the streets of Portugal at the time, and I was like, right, this road's 30 miles an hour. Hopefully everyone's going to be doing 30 miles an hour. So how quick is that? Boom, completely missed. A little bit faster. Boom, a little bit slower. And I actually got it to where like I was getting everybody that was going past at the certain speed with the shutter speed, f-stop, everything, and my action. So after about 10 or 15 shots, everything was dialed in to get a pan.
See, I just love,
on all the streets.
I just love, and we said we wouldn't get too geeky on this, but I just love a crazy like jet black ND filter, sunset, like to the point where you actually can't focus on your subjects. It's so dark. You have to pre-focus it and then you lock it, and then a waterfall and just leave
mix
it
it
for
with a CPL or something.
Just leaving it for like 30-40 seconds and just going milky. That is a bit of me.
How many people's cringing at us nerding out about a
we said
we weren't getting into it.
We're not
can't help ourselves.
Yeah, we're not going to do that.
You know?
We'll nix that one. We'll nix that.
So we just covered a lot of techniques there, really, haven't we? So we nailed it. Have you ever? This is a good question, because I've actually got into it on my recent trip to Thailand, and I took it with me. So I was in Thailand for 8 months, and I love travel photography as well. And I actually took a Digicam, my A7 IV, and a film camera.
Yeah.
Have you ever shot film first of all? Never.
Not like we're talking like the disposable point and click jobs.
Oh, you've done that.
Yeah, but like
so to a degree, it's film. It's developed, but it's not.
Yeah, as in like it's been.
You haven't got to store
Yeah,
it.
it's been to the chemist and they've come back and
Chemist.
like literally their thumbs over every single photo.
Yeah.
But like,
I actually took 15 photos, and then when I took it out of the camera, it got caught. I ended up pulling it a bit too hard. the first 15 photos come out of the film, and obviously it hit light straight away. So I've been to Thailand for 8 months, and this film's been all the way with me for 8 months. I've been to Thailand on a plane, asked everybody in the airport not to put it for a scanner to protect it, get it home, destroy the first 15 photos, and it's filmed, so I don't know what the 15 photos are, can't recover them, and it is harsh.
See, that's what I think. I have such respect for the old school photographers or anyone that does film, because you think it's as much as it's, you know, you've learned how to use the camera and you've got the compositional thing. I know that I can just, like as I said to you, so when I did my learn how to use photography, I just took a photo, saw the result, went, oh, I'm going to change this setting, what difference does that make? Change that, and just sort of
learn on the job.
You can't do that with film because you have no idea what's coming out.
No,
the skill is next level.
Oh, it's crazy. I'd have to show you some of my films, but it's something I really got into, and it wasn't like a proper big film. It was a point and shoot, 35mm, but it was absolutely amazing. Really enjoyed it actually, and but I just think in there's a time and place. Yes, we can turn that into digital. So we're in a Instagram world, aren't we? Of
course.
So we want to be posting.
Well, we
use stories.
We use filters to make it look like it.
Exactly. Yeah. So everyone loves it.
Yeah.
But, I think the alternative to that is, I mean, I used to do it all the time. Digicam flash photography when you're at like house parties and stuff like that. Have you ever done that?
See, never. This is the thing.
Camping. I used to go on holiday, family camping trips. Flash digicam.
You see, I was never ever into photography ever.
Oh,
it was
man,
so
you're
what
missing
so
out.
what happened was so my friend, this is disgusting. So he is a Nikon sponsored photographer. Yeah, he's won.
Yeah, stop there.
I know it's disgusting. He's won like Matty Smith Photo. Check him out on Instagram.
Oh, nice.
He's won like landscape photographer of the year.
Yeah.
He got invited to the National History Museum in London. He lives in Australia and he flew all the way over in like
can't blame the gear now.
So he just he's at the point though where he just says, I want this camera, and he just gets it for free. It's cool. So long story short, even back in the day when because he used to do long lens surf photography. That's how he started. That's one of the, what he did, but that was at the time that's what he was doing. And I was in Australia with him. I lived with him for 3 months out in Australia, and I had no interest in photography. I appreciated photography.
Of course.
I'd never actually realised that on the we're talking back in 2008 here, so things like phones were still up there, like they were amazing. Yeah. But it took me a while to realise that my phone screensaver, every computer screen that I had, was always a really beautiful landscape of a beach or a sunset.
Someone had to take that photo.
Yeah, but what I mean is though, I gravitated towards that stuff.
So it just caught your eye because...
So I didn't realise that I liked it, but I just...
Because you was exposed to it all the time.
I was just doing it. I was like, oh, I want a photo of my background. I like this. I never actually thought about being the person that took it. And then when I went out with Matt, then obviously he wasn't necessarily doing the photos that I liked, as in, you know, the surf stuff. But I've seen all his other stuff, and he's got some amazing shots. Yeah. If you ever see his jellyfish photos, it's unbelievable.
Jellyfish? No, I'm into a bit of jellyfish.
He does. Oh, this is a complete tangent. He does. His big thing is he does under-over photography. Under-over.
Oh,
so
half 50-50.
Well, half in, half out the water, and he's got this big dome for his camera. Yeah. He's got these two external strobes, and what he does is he waited for ever to get the right setting, and he went in when the jellyfish there. So there's a really stormy background, and then
lit up and blue,
and then the strobes light up the jellyfish, which go like electric blue, but then the sea is completely black.
Amazing.
I'll show you afterwards. They are stunning, and he's won loads of awards for them. And he does all these dive expeditions and everything. So but being exposed to that, when I then got home, I was like, oh, I wonder if I should give that a go. So that's when I bought my first cheap couple of £100 camera, and that just started.
What was your first camera?
Oh, it was some dodgy little Fuji thing.
Was it?
It was terrible, and I
think my first camera that I owned, like properly to do vlogs and everything, was a G7X.
I couldn't even remember the name of it, but this is how daft it was. I was actually that embarrassed that I was trying it. I told people that I'd borrowed it from my job at the time to see if I like it, because I didn't want to say I'm trying to do
this is my camera.
Not so much, not that I was embarrassed of the camera itself.
Oh, like doing the hobby.
As in doing the photography. People, I thought, who do you think you are? Because at that time,
of course,
because people weren't photographers. It was the days before content creation and social media. Yeah. So if you had a camera, it's like, who do you think you are? David Bailey, for an old name. But then I upgraded like a Nikon 3100, and then I went better but older, so I had a D300, and then I went for the D750, which was like the top end spanking one, and I love that one. But like I say, just from an actual photography point of view, my eye before I was even into photography, I was drawn to the type of photos that I liked taking without even knowing what I was doing, which is quite cool when I actually then got the camera.
Actually, off the back of that, and I've got a question for you. You was exposed to that, what you like a lot.
Exposed. Nice.
I didn't actually mean to do that. I'm glad you picked up on it. That was pretty cool. Do you think overexposure kills creativity then? Because you was like looking at your phone and laptop screen, and you saw all these beautiful landscapes, and you deep down actually knew that you like it, but because you was overexposed to it all the time, every single day, looking at your laptop, your phone screen, like you got that dopamine and that hit from looking at it without doing it yourself.
Yeah.
For someone like me, do you think if I lived in the centre of London and was exposed to it all the time, overexposure kills creativity? Because you can't look for the small points or necessarily haven't got an eye for something. You're numb to it. Like people who live in London will just walk,
of course,
go on the tube, sit down. They won't pay attention to anything that's going right. If you've not been to London before or any kind of major city, you'll walk in there, you'll see somebody on a bike wearing a nice outfit, or someone's screaming down the street, someone's late for the bus, but you pick up on that all the time, right?
Of course, yeah, because it's new.
Because it's new, and you're firing on all cylinders. So I think overexposure, for me, would definitely kill creativity.
It depends, doesn't it? Because you either feel like you're in a playground, but then I think you are going to get to the point where, even though it's somewhere like London is very diverse and there's a lot to look at, you are going to get to the point where I think you probably feel like you've photographed everything.
Yeah.
And then you sort of then start spreading your field a little bit and getting a little bit wider. Whereas like it's the same as the people that live in it's Keswick, isn't it? Is the near like Lake Windermere.
Yeah.
Do you think they drive around Lake Windermere and be like, oh, that's a really pretty pier and sunset?
Yeah.
Like they just it's whatever. Whereas I'm there losing my mind.
Absolutely.
I've got a long exposure shot of this like pier going into the distance and the sun setting behind it. With them, that's just like Wednesday. So So it's I think it's. For me, I would go one of two ways. You either feel like you are really honing your craft and it is just an endless playground, or you get a little bit bewildered because there's so many people doing it in that area that you feel a bit overwhelmed trying to find something that someone's not done.
Yeah, I guess there's pressure, isn't there? Because you see, I follow a lot of photographers and there's certain streets in like New York and the Manhattan Bridge, and the sun sets or like is in line with the buildings at one time, at Pacific time of a year, etc. And there's like 100 photographers taking that one shot.
Yeah.
Like if you was in that there as well, like you've got to battle with 100 photographers to get the one shot. Like who's going to get the perfect shot? Are you going to be there for 6 hours before to make sure your tripod's set up, but there's nothing else stopping someone just walking in front of your shot?
Yeah.
Or like there's so many aspects to photography that we can miss or make mistakes on. And the pressure now, especially there's so many users and so many creators to get that shot.
Well, when you look at things like, again, like the social media now, some of the photos that people get with their phones, unbelievable. And that just shows you how, like, obviously there's editing, but there's obviously...
you know Peter McKinnon?
I think I've heard the name,
Yeah, so super famous photographer. He's on YouTube, and he won't watch this, but hi, Peter.
Maybe one day.
And he does a lot of photography, and he's done film recently, and like he's amazing. You should watch him. But he also does like tutorials of taking photos on the phone. Yeah. And they'll do like side by sides of a camera and a phone, and because he knows what he's doing, oh my god.
Oh yeah,
you can't tell.
It's crazy, and I think, but because of that, it's if you're trying to be like a creative person in the world of photography, it can almost be like a little bit demoralizing. Because, for example, Joe, when I'd started photography, if you've seen the website 500px, if I'd seen that when I started out, I'd have put my camera in the bin, because I'd have been like, I am never gonna be that good. What is the point?
Or like top creators
again, going back to, I'll never be that good.
It's going in
the bin we go. But because I kind of like played around with it, and as much as I do joke about if I'm not good at something straight away I sack it off, I always say photography is the only thing
you said on the first
where that rule doesn't apply. I just carried on. But yes, I think it's not so much overstimulation. It can just be a case of it's available to so many people now, and you don't need special equipment. No. You have to just make peace with the fact is that you can spend all day researching the perfect photo, get your really fancy £2,000 camera out. Yeah. Somebody will walk up with an iPhone and get a way better shot. Get a way better photo.
Yeah. I think we should cover 2 more points on this photography talk.
Okay, cool.
As this entry. And one is, first of all, we'll start with a question, actually. How would you tell a story through images, like, let's say, a carousel or a trip you've been on or landscape? Storytelling through photography. Do you think it's more difficult than video? Because obviously I can just tell the story. How would you do that in photography for your style? And then I'll say
so
mine.
it can. Well, this actually leads on to something else I was going to speak about, and it's actually perfect timing. So I think it all depends on the story with photography that you want to tell.
Yeah.
Not that the story, not what the story is.
Yeah.
And by that, what I mean is, and this is like not really answering, but sort of answering what you were saying. Have you ever seen that really famous video where they did an experiment where they got like 5 photographers, and they got this guy in this like dilapidated like warehouse? Have you seen it?
No.
Oh, it's unbelievable. It's really, really famous clip. And he's quite a big guy. He's probably like 6+, maybe, I don't know, late 50s, 60s. Big guy, bald head, like check shirt, just a bit of a. If you said he's a bouncer, you'd be like, yeah, cool.
Yeah,
and he's sat in a chair
yeah,
in the middle of this warehouse. Like, there's obviously light coming through and everything like that. And they gave, I think, and I may be butchering the story, but the premise is, it is true. So they gave, say, 5 photographers, and they told every single one of them who this guy was, but before they met him, they told them a different story. And every single one of their photos was completely different. So, for example, they told one guy, if I can find it, I'll send it you. So they told one guy that he was like an ex-convict and he'd done time for like beating people up. So all their photos and videos,
I can imagine very intimidating, close,
dark,
moody,
not very well lit. His arms are crossed. He's snarling. He looked unapproachable. The next guy was told that he was like a really rich businessman that gives loads of money to charity, and he's done loads for like kids shelters. Suddenly they've got all this natural lighting. He's by a window, he's smiling, his hands are in his pockets. The 2 guys were completely different
because they was told different stories,
because of the preconception. So they went in with a completely different preconception of who he was, and they staged their entire thing around it, and that wasn't who he was as a person.
So that's somewhere where you can control your surroundings, I guess. So if they told it, you can control the lighting, etc. So if someone was late for the bus, we're going to go back to this anyway, but they was running onto the bus and they had a coffee in the hand, etc. And I was taking the shot, and I captured that shot of that woman running, coffee in hand, hands up to the bus driver. What would you think?
As in,
she's late for the bus.
Yeah.
But then she hands the coffee to a person that's getting on the bus.
Yeah.
And it's for a friend to say bye.
Yeah.
I've captured a totally different story to what's going on.
Yeah.
So with my kind of style as well, you're a lot of people watching, and stuff that you do actually capture in the moment necessarily isn't what's happening as well, which is crazy when you think about it.
I nearly got stung like this.
Did you?
Off topic, but sort of. Years ago, I was in a club, which shows you how long ago it was, and I was talking to my girlfriend at the time's friend.
Oh, okay.
Who was very attractive. And as you do,
what's her name, Sam?
I actually can't remember. What's her at? So
she had Instagram.
Yeah. So, and as it was like, it was that thing where, like, you know, when you're a young guy and you just take photos of your friends constantly trying to get them in trouble. Yeah. So we were just talking, and as it's loud, you lean in so you can hear what they're saying. And
I know where this is
someone got a photo of me leaning in to go to her ear, but from the angle, it looked like I was making a move. Now, obviously, everyone that was there knew I wasn't.
Yeah, knew what was going on.
I knew it wasn't. But if you'd sent that to my girlfriend, game over.
So storytelling is one of the most difficult things to learn.
100%.
But also one of the most damaging to relationships.
It can be. It can be. I mean, it's not a get out. It's not like a, you know, if you are caught doing that.
Yeah, how easy was that one to talk yourself out of?
Luckily, it never got sent. There was a very...
Anyway.
There was a very firm conversation with the guy that took it, and we...
How much did you pay him?
And we both agreed to delete the picture.
He never deleted him. I just deleted bin though.
Yeah.
Last point then. Oh, that was pretty cool actually. Very, very good conversation about storytelling there. If you've got an interesting story like that, I want you to either head over to the Instagram and leave it in the comments on one of our posts.
That'd be great, yeah.
Or leave it in the comments of YouTube. So if you're looking at this on, or listening to this, sorry, on Spotify
Or messages,
Apple,
DM us.
yeah, DM us that, and we'll shout out some of these stories
Yeah.
if you want to send them across, because if you've ever captured a story, or I've got a funny story like Sam's that's quite personal, even if you've never picked up a camera, you've been caught out, etc.
Basically,
let me know about it.
When was the picture, not the picture?
Yeah, yes. When was the picture, not the picture?
Yeah.
There we go, Sam.
Yeah.
There we go. I knew we'd do this together for a reason.
Yeah.
Mate. There we go. So last one, I think we'll talk about, and we've covered a pretty good span of things there, is creative photo editing. So how the styles of editing changes so much, and I think right now my editing style is very high contrasty, but very like a low black point and a very soft light, and almost a lot of it inside of the gym is quite blue. It's quite like, they'd call it teal and orange, but it's not quite teal.
But that's becoming your like signature edit, isn't it?
Yeah, it's becoming the way I do things. And when you do see a lot of like edits and a lot of stuff on Instagram, a lot of it's edited that way. So being creative, and like, do you edit to that style because everyone's doing it?
Yeah.
Or do you create your own and just go, right, this is how I like it? Because it's so individual. What I like, a lot of people won't, and vice versa.
That's so funny, because Harry, who you met at the open day, so obviously Herculean Media, shout out Harry. So at the time when he came and you met him there, I was talking to him because he just started re-editing his photos. So in like you say, in a world where everyone is high contrast, that there might be colour pops in there, he'd gone completely the other way.
Screams at you.
And he'd done dead, subtle. He dropped virtually all the colour out.
Oh, wow.
Blacks, slightly, almost like a bit of a vintagey, like a little bit of a yellow hue to it, but really sort of mean, moody. So
kind of like a 70s.
Yeah, like you'd scroll past and it wouldn't jump out at you because of its
colour.
It would jump out of you because it looked impactful, which shows you that you've not got to be like screaming over.
No, I think because as well, like, there's a lot of money put into, again, another conversation, a lot of money put into Instagram and TikTok and etc. to have all these colours and little things on there that are mind altering and manipulating to keep you on there longer. So there's all this red and colourful, and it's the colour of seduction and keeps you on there, little heart to double tap, makes you feel wanted, etc. All these things scream out to you. So naturally, when we want to put stuff on social media, we want it to do the same. We want it to give it the same impact. We put all these colours on there, we make it bright, we make it inviting, we make it, wow, look at that. Do you think there's ever going to be a point where we can get rid of all of that? Because there's no need to capture everybody's attention all the time anymore. It is just part of our day.
I think it's difficult because I think, as we've seen, everyone's attention span is getting so short.
So short, yeah.
You know, like I think if anything,
the attention economy is killing attention.
I think it's going to be worse. I think it's going to have to get brighter, more overt, because people just whatever next.
I guess,
You know, even as we said the other week, you know, there will be content that I enjoy by people that I enjoy, and if they take too long getting to the point, I can feel my finger going up the screen.
Oh, of course,
it's terrible, and that's someone interested. So if you're trying to battle for someone who's doesn't know you, who's on the fence, it's difficult. So you've got to do something that is very. Like you may have noticed, the last couple of reels that I've done, I've used footage that we got when we trained, and I've knocked them down to like 1 to 2 seconds. Put a fairly not controversial but like a hook comment, and then go read the comments. They've done so much better on Instagram because then people are actually going, "Oh, what's he on about?"
The short, have a look,
and
also by the time they have actually read the words on there. The reels played 2 or 3 times. Then they've read the comments. It's played through another 10 times. Guess what?
Because I saw one the other day. Market research this, and there was a on my like the recommended feed. There was this like woman like clearly drop dead gorgeous.
I have a lot of them.
Yeah, and then there was like, I think she said, pause exactly on 3 seconds, and it counts down.
Wow,
and it literally,
I've seen these,
and it literally is her in like underwear.
Yeah.
That you. So then
you're never going to get it.
You're never going to get it.
You keep doing it 3 or 4 times.
So I was like, God. And then I thought I must have. I mean, I didn't. But I thought I could have watched this 10 times, and you'll never get it. But that's like how many people have done that and seen it 10 times.
And I guess it's not just women
posting
or taking clothes off. It's kind of like it also like different stuff of watch this trick shot, and it's kind of them doing it.
And the stupid thing is, like,
and then get it.
All jokes aside, like the whole laddie nature of a woman in underwear.
Yeah.
For me, this is really sad. For me, it was actually the game. Could I stop it?
Yeah.
And
challenge accepted.
I tried and I couldn't get it. And
was you heartbroken, Sam?
it was just the point where I was like, it wasn't about, with the best will in the world, it wasn't about seeing a girl in her underwear, because that is literally everywhere on the internet.
Yeah,
that's not a novelty.
You ain't got to fight for that.
No,
you ain't got to play a game.
It was quite literally the game of, can I stop it at the right time? If I had done, I'd have gone cool and scrolled straight past. That's where I was at with it.
I'd have gone in the comments. Told you I could.
Yeah, nailed it, big man.
Smashed
at me.
Amazing. I think. Well, photography has been smashed there.
Yeah, there's a lot there.
Hopefully you've took some great points away from that conversation about photography, and if you have, again, please leave some in the comments to say what was your kind of favourite point, if you've got anything that resonated with you and stories and stuff. We will push that. We want kind of people to bounce back and forward on these. We want to be interactive, and especially when we get guests on, it's going to be. So photography nailed, Sam.
I think so, yeah. I mean, I'm looking forward to a couple of, so there's a few people that we've got coming up, where again, it's not even when it comes to the creative side of things, it isn't like creative, like a digital creative. It could be creating a business, a brand, a community. That's one of the people that's coming on.
Yeah.
We've got a sort of guy called Owen, who, fingers crossed, is coming on, and he does a lot of work creating brand awareness and all those sorts of stuff. And
he does really, really well with that. He'll be able to give you some great tips of how he tells a story through visuals, and how over consistency and time can captivate someone into actually soft selling, and not even selling so much, but being aware of the product and what's around.
Like, things with him, and after we've blown him up, he better come on now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
but like, so he does a lot with work with Vivo barefoot. Now, I'm never going to buy Vivo barefoot because my feet are big and flat, and I need like,
I'll just go barefoot.
And I literally need like special people shoes, right? So I'm never going to buy Vivo, but because his videos are so engaging, even if it's just him walking through the forest.
Yeah.
And I think what I love about his stuff is the time it must take, because he has to like do a walk, drop his camera down, get a little bit of him walking.
It's a one-man band,
One-man band does it all, and it's like this nothingness throwaway shot of a stream or him stepping foot through it. He's had to do all that, plan it, and it's impressive. It really, and it's very, very engaging. Yeah, very watchable content.
Yeah, it's going to be incredible. We've got Owen, you better come on now, by the way. We've got
Name
also some great brands, people that have built brands off the back of other brands, so they've kind of used one to advertise another, which again, great stories inside of those as well. So yeah, I'm excited.
Awesome. Is that pod 2 done?
I think we're going to end pod 2 there. Episode 2, smash, Sam.
In the bag. Nice.
In the bag. Again, I'll repeat what Sam said at the start. Please like, please subscribe, please comment. If you've got anything that you want us to record, or anyone that you think would like to come on this, then please let us know. And head over to our Instagram and send us a DM where you're actually listening or watching this. We want to get some stats about that as well. That would really, really help us out. And obviously, hopefully you're taking away some good points and just genuinely enjoying listening to our conversations. So
awesome. Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.